Praised be Jesus and Mary. Well, we have another Franciscan saint this week that we're celebrating, Saint Veronica Giuliani. She was born in Italy of wealthy parents in 1660, and as a child, she was devout, but she was inclined to be quite irritable. Her mother died when she was only 4 years old. And in her last moments, she assigned each of her 5 daughters to one of the 5 wounds of our Lord, and she encouraged them to take refuge there whenever they were troubled. Veronica was the youngest, so she was assigned the wound in the side of our Lord. And from that moment on, she became more docile. And when she came of age, her father believed she should marry. And so he desired her to take part in the social activities of the young people, but she'd been made aware of another call and pleaded so earnestly with her father that after much resistance, he finally permitted her to choose her own state in life. At the age of 17, she entered the convent of the Capuchin Nuns, where the primitive rule of St. Clare was observed. And her humility was so sincere that she considered herself the lowliest member of the community, and at the same time she greatly edified all her sisters by her obedience and love of poverty and mortification. Sometimes she was favored with interior conversations and revelations. And she resolved that she would reveal all such matters to her superiors and her confessor. And she had neglected to do that when she was still in the world. And as a result, she'd oftentimes been misled by the devil. And after 17 years of fulfilling various offices in her community, she was entrusted with the task of novice mistress. And she strove to fill the novices with a great spirit of simplicity and to lay a firm foundation for humility. And at the same time, extraordinary things were beginning to happen in her. On Good Friday, she received the Stigmata, and later the crown of thorns. And after careful examinations into the matter, the bishop sent a report to Rome. And Rome, in turn, appointed a commission which was to put her humility to the test. And in order to determine, whether she was an impostor, a person deluded by the devil, or a person favored by God. She was deposed from her office as novice mistress and deprived of every privilege in the community. She was even imprisoned in a remote cell. No sisters were permitted to talk to her. And there was a lay sister who was made her warden and was ordered to treat her like a deceiver. Finally, she was even deprived of Holy Communion and was permitted to attend Holy Mass only on Sundays and holy days near the door of the church. And at the conclusion of these tests, these trials, the bishop reported to Rome that she scrupulously obeyed every one of his ordinances and showed not the least sign of sadness, amid all this harsh treatment, but rather an inexpressible peace and joy of spirit. Having filled the office of novice mistress during the space of 22 years, Veronica was unanimously elected abbess. Only in obedience, could she be prevailed upon to accept the responsibility. And purified more by many sufferings, she also added other penances. And she died on July 9th, 1727, after spending 50 years in the convent. And because of her heroic virtues and the many miracles that were continually being worked at her tomb, she was canonized by Pope Gregory XVI in 1839. So let us learn from St. Veronica that although, we may suffer our own trials and have people persecuting us or just even, getting under our skin, whether they're fellow employees or students or neighbors. She bore all of her sufferings in union with Christ. And so we can learn from her to accept whatever ill treatment we may receive as well.